Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Thursday. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci. It is A5 behind the glass here at Chop Studios. Chris, I got a question. It's a very pivotal question, and you have to answer it honestly, and you can't beat around the bush, okay? Where Brooklyn at?
Oh
my God, are they kidding?
They're in Phoenix.
Are they? They're off to the west, actually. Wow. The NBA delivers. We'll get into it. Listen, there's a big show lined up today.
Big winners of the night, the Nets.
We'll get into all the NFL props today. Super Bowl is loaded. We're going to get into all that. But first, I mean, it is just what I did notice on Mojo is that the NBA liquid props are live. So that's happening already. So you can start betting on guys that are, their over-unders on their score totals, rebounds, total points, total whatever. There's a whole bunch of things over there. One of them I saw yesterday was Jason Tatum. I'm like, well, my man's not having that good of a stretch run right now. But the biggest news last night was all the trades that went down. So how does that affect the stock market? It will affect their stock price because they put themselves, some of these guys have put themselves in better situations. Some of these guys, my God, it is just... Listen, I have a personal grudge with the Brooklyn Nets. As you know, I was a finalist and was selected to be the PA announcer for the Brooklyn Nets back in 2018. They decided to pull a PR stunt move and hire somebody who just quit the Cavaliers in the final hour. Like, hey, man, thanks for coming, but we're going in a different direction. I was like, I hope the Nets...
Never win another game.
I hope they never win another game, right? And I hope the franchise implodes. Well, guess what? I'm here to tell you that 5 years later...
They will never win another game.
It happened. They'll never win another game. Look, there's a lot of people that are saying that this is a good move for the Nets because they've gotten rid of all the head cases. It's no more Durant. Durant's traded to the Suns. Irving was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. Harden was traded last year. So now they have a great little young team to build around Ben Simmons.
The head case.
It's like,
so they didn't get rid of all of their head cases now, did they? And honestly, I don't think KD was really a head case. I don't think KD was ever a problem. He's played through. Last year, KD put the team on his back. He played played like 48 minutes every game in the postseason. I'm not faulting KD here, not one bit, right? I don't even think he made much noise. I think this is a more Nets move. They realized, look, we got egg on our face here.
This did
not work out. It's time to blow it up. They weren't winning with KD in that roster this year. No. So I think it makes sense in that regard. And you have to be careful about saying it's a good deal for the Nets. And it's like, no, they're trying to salvage what they messed up over the past 3 seasons. So good deal, given the scope of the situation, I guess. But anytime that you're getting rid of one of the all-time greats of
You said
NBA,
it yesterday when
we were talking. Not getting a good deal.
You were talking about this yesterday, or whenever we were talking about the NBA last. You said that the NBA is a star-driven league, and now if you're a Nets fan, you no longer have any of these stars.
I'm curious to know
if you think you can resurge Ben Simmons.
If this does
congratulations,
because I haven't seen how moves or even. We would imagine that Kevin Durant's pretty much got some bank value in the Mojo market, right? But now his situation where he was coming from a roster that was already somewhat loaded, but there's been in and out of lineup. Guys have been hurt. He's been hurt. But now he goes to a team that they have some established players in this team. Like, he has to go find himself a role. We say find himself a role. He's going to be the clear-cut number one option in the fourth. But they have Devin Booker, who has been that. So you would imagine that the scoring totals are going to go down a little bit based on the fact that there's other people involved. They already have a kind of a system going over there. So Devin Booker's still going to get his shots.
The Suns got better. So did the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, again, I can roast Kyrie.
I think Chris Paul is the winner here.
Yeah, I mean, finally, Chris Paul's going to have himself a chance to compete in the West and win himself a title.
He's never had a chance.
I mean, he's had plenty of chances, but what I'm saying is this is his best shot now.
It is.
But now, so another secret under the radar move, not really under the radar, Russ dealt. Goodbye. Russ Westbrook, no longer with LeBron James. The day after he breaks the record, they get rid of Russell Westbrook. I didn't. It's not that I didn't see it coming because I know there was a lot of Raiders. I know there was a lot of Lakers fans clamoring for this, and they were like, "Look, man, Russ is just building iron with building a building worth of iron because of all the clanking he's doing. Like, he's not playing his best basketball, and that's fine. But I honestly didn't actually see it happening.
I saw it happening. I knew it was
I didn't think the writing was on the wall. Even.
LeBron had moved on from Russ a long time ago, and it was just a foregone conclusion at this point. I didn't know that it would be for Russell D'Angelo Russell, because he's been a Laker. There was a little bit of a beef. There's a backstory with the Lakers and how it went down with the locker room. I think there was a Kobe Bryant situation involved, and there was like, it was involving like relationships and weird
drama.
TMZ Page 6 news that was going on in LA at the time. But D'Angelo Russell has since then become somewhat of an instant scorer in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He has a decent fourth quarter shooting percentage, and he's kind of that guy that you could lean on a little bit more than Russ, surprisingly, to score points in the fourth. Russ is not a good fit for the Lakers, but he's probably going to light it up.
I just think that all the moving parts right now, the stars that are moving is the crazy part. The part that people shouldn't get too crazy about are these draft picks, because a lot of them are just like later round crapshoot draft picks. So it's like the Nets have like 100 picks coming within the next like 5 years. But does that even matter? You know, if they find the diamond in the rough, great. But the crapshoot of
lottery
the NBA draft is
I want to
insane.
hear about lottery picks more so than anything. Are they getting lottery picks? If they turn into something that's, you know, a top 10, top 15 pick down the line, then it works out. But with all the moving parts, we don't even know who's going to be even relevant in a season, let alone a high pick, a low pick. The NBA is upside down right now. But I gotta love it. Honestly, I have no clue who I would point to as the clear-cut favorite in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I mean, the West is going to be the Wild Wild West. I think it's finally, you know, it's definitely it's going to be fun, and I'm excited. I'm also excited. The Knicks made a move. Not really, you know, as glamorous as the rest of them, but they acquired Josh Hart from the Blazers, which just so happens to be Brunson's college teammate at Villanova. So that's kind of cool, you know. So cool. He gets his back. Now, did you see the reaction video by any chance?
Who's
Brunson?
No.
He was getting his number retired at Villanova, and somebody showed him like the update, which is happening. So my man went nuts. Like he was very excited.
Did you see Anthony Davis' reaction to LeBron breaking the record?
I did
he
see that.
Sat down as it was happening. It's like, bro,
it's like, hello,
maybe you should
darkness,
trade AD.
My old friend, just sinking into his chair, and I'm like, bro, be happy for the guy, I guess, sort of. But anyway, NBA. There's, like I said, the trade deadline looms. I believe it's today at 3:00. So there will be more moves to be made. Stay tuned to the Mojo Market for all the breaking news. Mojo.com's got it all. The app has even more than that.
I think the NBA has one thing figured out, and it's line up the trade deadline the week of the Super Bowl and get all us football fans that really do love the NBA but just
can't get into it.
Can't do two things at once over here. It's perfect because now it got me full throttle right back into the NBA. Man.
Absolutely. And now that, like I said, the Nets are a complete dumpster fire, and the Knicks have some promise. So today's a good day here in at Chop Studios. I don't know about anybody else. I'm a Knicks guy. Chris doesn't really have an allegiance, but he just does love the Stars, and the Stars are all moving.
It makes it so much better. Trust me.
I'm not ever going to do that. You can't just drop.
I'm just saying. No, I'm
you
not
have
saying
to start that way. You can't just like mold into that.
No, you can. I'll explain how.
Please do.
If you catch yourself not caring, it means you don't care. Like if you legitimately don't care, you have to have that honest conversation with yourself about your fanhood and say, you know what, I really don't care. If they get good, I'll jump on board, but I'll always be transparent about how I am with my fanhood here, so nobody could sit here and say, "Oh, you don't really." It's like, yeah, obviously, I told you that for 10 years, but now I'm going to enjoy this. Shut up. Thank you.
All right.
Right?
Shut up and thank you.
It's very easy. Don't question anybody's fanhood.
I know. You say that all the time.
It's a rule.
It's not a rule.
It is a good rule.
Anthony shakes. Yeah, he's right. He's right.
It is a good rule,
Anthony shakes. He's got a point.
As long as you're honest about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I'm sure you're not going to be rooting for the what are you wearing over there? I forget the DC United. What is this? A football club of New York of some variation. So maybe it's a good day for everybody involved. They won at least a championship, right? At some point. Yeah, they did. So I mean, we got championship lineage over here at Chop Studios. Anyway,
championship of what?
Fanhood. I don't know.
That's
been a long
professional
time.
Soccer championship. Their professional soccer championship.
Yeah, they won the MLS title.
Now, out of all the 3,000 soccer leagues, where would you rank their professional league? Is it like the 100th best? Is it even
MLS?
professional? It's like
it's not up there. It's definitely not up there. Coming to Mojo Soccer. No, I'm kidding. One day, I'm sure.
We'll move on.
We will move on to the other stuff we known as American football.
Super Bowl
So
week.
liquid props have been soaring. It's something that we were all really excited about. Now you're here. It's the Super Bowl. Liquid props are a fun way to kind of just get involved on a day-to-day, really. and game-to-game basis, just like your prop bets on every other game. So this one being the biggest game of them all, why not debut it now? I mean, they debuted it a couple weeks ago, so you were able to like kind of test it out, see if you like it. And if you do like it, now there's a lot of money to be made. So we're going to go over offensive, defensive, and a couple parlays that you could possibly win some money on the Mojo market. Now, look, throughout the first couple weeks of this show, and when I say weeks, I mean 18 of them, we've told you about guys to go long on, short on for their entire careers. This is specifically talking about this Sunday on what we think these guys might be able to deliver to your bank account. So let's start with the offense. The offensive props right now are as follows, and there is a lot. So there's a lot to circle, and there's a lot to get into. But when you look at this list, you're going to have to...
I'm going to have to pull up my list.
You're going to pull up your list. I can actually see it to my left.
I don't have my glasses on ever.
Yeah,
so
well, that's your
wrong.
problem. All right.
We're good.
If you want to start off, we know both quarterbacks are in play here, obviously, right? So the way it's listed right now is that Patrick Mahomes is listed at passing yards $288, which means it translates to 288 yards passing. Now, when you look at this, Chris, we know that the Chiefs are going to be heavily reliant, and you can bring our mugs back up if you want. There you go. Here we are. If you want to bring up the offense that you're about to see out of the Chiefs, they're not a run start. You know, they don't run heavy, right? They do have a good running back. We've talked about Pacheco and McKinnon and all that stuff. And now the emergence of who knows what Clyde Edwards-Helaire does. But when you're looking at this yardage right now, 288, do you see it?
I don't.
Against the Eagles defense.
I don't. No, I think not against the. I don't know how many times do you think the Eagles have given up 300 yards passing this season? Probably not many, right? And I know that they haven't faced Pat Mahomes on a neutral ground, but Pat Mahomes dealing with a high ankle sprain, I'm going to fade that all day long. I think there are a lot of underneath stuff. They're going to be playing the dink and dunk game here. I don't think they're going to be stretching the field all too often. I think that the best way to keep the ball out of the Eagles' hands is to try and get some ground game established, as hard as that's going to be. But I think that's their best bet here, is to try and slow it down, as much as that sounds crazy with the Chiefs.
It does sound crazy.
But that's their best bet.
Flip side of that coin.
That all day long. I'm taking the under on 288 or 292 is what I see here. So maybe it updated.
Okay. Well, this is the ones I got. So yeah, maybe they are, again, liquid, they're fluid, they're moving. From what I have right now, I took this yesterday. So Jalen Hurts passing yards 245. Now, this is a guy that has not thrown the ball a lot. There's not been a lot of air under the ball for Jalen Hurts on this playoff run. Now, will that be what it takes for the Eagles to be in this game? Are they going to have to throw the ball a lot more than they have in the past 2 weeks because of the fact that I love the Chiefs front, right? And I think they'll be successful against the run. I'm not saying they're going to stuff the run. I'm not going to say they're going to hold Miles Sanders to nothing. But do you think the Eagles are going to turn to the pass? And do you think 245 is a good number? I have here. What do you have over there? Same?
I have 244 here. So,
all right, so it's right around that.
And honestly, because it's liquid, I do like it. But I like it, and then I think it's a good option to cash out. Just the way the Eagles have played in the first half all year, I think they may come out firing early, maybe hit on a long one, but then they kind of just play the run game, and they use those running backs game well in the second half. And both playoff games has been lights out. So they lean on the run game in the second half and kind of protect their lead. That's how I think the Super Bowl is going to play out. I'm basing this off of my own opinion on how I think this is. I capped this game loosely, not completely, but I feel like it's the Eagles' game to win. And early, yes, I will go on the over there, but then I would monitor it because I don't know if he actually hits the total, but I think he's going to be in a very good spot, looking like he
might have like a $180 at halftime or something like that.
And then he finishes with like 230, 220, and it's going to be close, but I don't think he gets there. They haven't really thrown the ball that much in the second half. They haven't had to.
And specifically in the playoffs, they haven't needed to. So that's another thing. They've relied heavily on their rushing attack. Speaking of the rushing attack, I'm looking around, and the first rushing attack I see is Mr. Boston Scott. He's got 14 cents rushing and receiving touchdowns. So basically, do you think Boston Scott sees pay dirt in the end zone this week at Super Bowl 57? Because if he does, you have the opportunity to make some serious cash, depending on how much you want to throw down.
I don't think he's going to see the field all that much. I think he can, based on if they have a big lead, and we've seen him score in the last couple weeks. But when a guy that I don't see him getting much of the snap share, unless the game dictates a blowout, the odds don't really lean towards him getting one, so it'll be a nice payout. But I think there's other directions that I'll head with my money in this one. I'm not going to play on Boston Scott.
All right.
Gainwell, we got anything on Gainwell over there?
I do have Gainwell. I have Gainwell here, receiving and rushing touchdowns at 27 cents.
See, a little more likely and a little more interesting for me. I think that you're going to see a lot of him on the field, so he has a chance to score at any given play. When you have a player that's out there, that's important. So yeah, I think Gainwell is a little more likely. But what are we looking at on Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders, 56 cents. So now you're looking.
We're talking.
Now we're at the minus 500 range.
It's like we're basically bigging out here. So yeah, Miles Sanders has scored a touchdown in every other week. It seems like this whole season.
It feels like that. Yeah.
Miles Sanders is my main play on Philly. 100%. He might even score 2. So
I got some total yards here. Flipping on over to the Chiefs. Kadarius Toney, 35 yards total. The thing with him is
he's like one and done.
That's the thing. So is his one a bigger than a 35-yard gain?
And is his total yards receiving or overall?
No, it's total yards.
Then I like it.
He could get the ball out of the backfield.
An end arounder too, and it's a Super Bowl. Andy Reid's got something special cooked up. Maybe
do you think they do the whole do-si-do around the barn thing that they did that one time against the Raiders?
No.
That's not a Super Bowl special?
No.
Oh, all right.
Maybe they do a play on the Philly special. And they bring all that back, right? We have.
So then you have. You're crazy to say this, but I wasn't going to bring it up. But receiving a rushing touchdown for Blake Bell is at 9 cents right now. So like, there's no shot in hell that he gets in the end zone. But if they do some kind of wacky play, he might be the one sitting in the back of the end zone, like, yo, here, I'm right here.
No, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. Let's see. Vantis Scantling, 49 yards. I feel like he's due for a 51-yard gain, and that's it. So maybe you smack this one hard because he's always good for something like this. And he's been killing it in the postseason.
There's one thing that I'll say about MVS that he's been, and that's very inconsistent. The only thing that he's consistently done is have issues catching the football. He's played really well in the postseason. I think he's matched basically his entire season total in yardage in 2 games. I'm out. You know where I'm going with the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to tell you why here. I'm going to read some stats.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, people.
Read them up.
I'm going to read these stats out.
Sure
Let me
will.
just locate this picture because it is an interesting one to say the least. All right, here we go. So Travis Kelce has played in 17 career playoff games, right? So the equivalent of 1 full season of football. If you added up his stats in those games, 17 games, 1 full season. Now, this is against the best. Every game that
the Bills, the Bengals, all these games,
right. 17 games, tight end, 127 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 1,467 to be exact, but 15 touchdowns. So we're talking about a touchdown a game. We're talking about damn near 100 yards a game, and we're talking about 8 catches a game.
I was just going to do that.
Travis Kelce.
127 catches divided by the 17, 7.5 catches a game.
Yeah, so we're talking about that's where I'm over on all Kelce's props, and I'll happily lose those if it doesn't work out because there's nothing points towards him not being heavily involved. He's their biggest weapon. They can't do enough to take him out of the game. Teams have tried all season long. You know, Mahomes is a wizard. The pass rush is the only thing that could stop this. Right?
That's very true.
That does scare me a little bit, but if I'm leaning anywhere with the Chiefs offense, how could you go anywhere besides Travis Kelce? I just read off his playoff stats. Guess what, guys? It is a playoff game. It is
After
a
all,
postseason game.
yeah, it
Travis
is.
Kelce shows up.
All right.
Plus, Mom might flip the coin at the start of the game.
I know they're trying to do the petition, but I don't see that happening.
I'm joking. It's not going to happen.
Defense. Guess what? We're here, ladies and gentlemen. The defensive players have arrived on the Mojo market. There is a plenty of defensive liquid props to get involved in. I'm very excited about this because, this is the first time you're having the opportunity to bet on a defensive player on the Mojo market. So this is where I think we make our money here, okay? Because I'm looking at some of these guys. Specifically, I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles defensive front. When you look at these guys, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick sacks, right? 90 cents. He's gonna get to Mahomes.
So he's getting a sack.
He's getting a sack. And then I look at Brandon Graham. He's low. He's 45 cents. You telling me Brandon Graham doesn't get home once? I look at this as a defensive, not a defensive like struggle by any stretch, but what I see is I see the defense up front of the Eagles who have been historically good, legendary. Have you right? These guys are going to get to Mahomes. Mahomes ain't going to be as Houdini as he thinks. That's another reason
why I'm a little bit worried about the passing totals for the Eagles too, because I think
for the Eagles or the Chiefs.
the Eagles based on the fact that their defense creates such a crazy amount of turnovers and they play with such a short field so often that the totals just don't add up when it's all said and done. They tend to play less on offense in the first half because their defense is letting it up. You'll be like, I remember looking back and being like, wow, I have 3 Eagles in fantasy this year. And then I would look, it would be the halftime, and then I'll be like, well, who did anything? And it would be like, well, they had 8 yards here and they scored, and they had a pick, and then they ran it back for a touchdown. The Eagles defense is going to probably be the one that shows up and makes this if I think there's going to be a double-digit lead at any point, it's going to be the defense that blows up, I think.
Like a turnover, a pick six, kind of strip sack fumble type deal.
Super Bowl, something weird's happening.
Yeah, I mean, look, as soon as like a safety happens, all your box pools also blow up.
Or they all get better.
They do get better because all you people with the 2s out there and the 5s are like, how am I ever? But anyway, there is a lot of awesome defensive props. Like I said, it's one of those things where it's exciting because it's the first time we're able to do it. So definitely look into those guys as well. Now, what else we got? We have parlays. Now, look, these are interesting because I read into them. I want to read it to you guys verbatim off the Mojo app because
read it to me, Dave.
I want you guys to understand how this works.
I think I got it.
I think I got it too, and I think it's actually very interesting. So, Mojo tip coming from the Mojo app right now. Introducing parlays with a twist. Here's an example. Travis Kelce, which you can see on your screen right here, receptions, and the Chiefs -6.5. So, obviously, the Chiefs have to win by 7 points.
Thus the parlay.
Yes. If the Chiefs win by 7 or more, which obviously is half the parlay, you'll get paid $1 per share for every Kelce reception. So you just said that he averages 7.5, let's just say. So let's round up. Let's say he gets 8 catches, right? The more catches he has, the more he'll make. Plus, you'll be able to cash out anytime to avoid a bad bet. At $2.20 per share, here's how the payoff works.
So let me guess here. If he has 8 catches, it'll be a little less than 4 times. It'll be like 3.
Well, here it is. Chiefs. All right, so here's the example that they give. The Chiefs win by 7.5 or 7+, and he catches 4 passes. You already doubled your money by that. If he has 6 catches, 3 times your money. If my man goes for 10, you have quadrupled your money.
So it's like between 3 and 4 if he has 8.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
So, and again, that's the beauty part about these parlays.
But they got to win.
They got to win. Not only win, but
win by 6.5.
Hand him a butt kicking, to be honest with you. If you win by 7 points in the Super Bowl, that's considered a decent win. I mean, right? I mean, a touchdown win is a touchdown win. The spread is what? 2?
2.5 now.
2.5 in favor of the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
I'm not either. But what I will say is, so technically, if you wanted to get involved in a Travis Kelce parlay, you're looking at this as like a 9-point swing. You know, because the Eagles are already favored by 2. So you need the Chiefs to win by 7, meaning it's an outright win and a -6.5, and you get money for the catches. It's interesting, but it's definitely lucrative if it happens.
What makes this most interesting is if the Chiefs get a lead and Kelce has like 5 catches,
Get out.
you could yank it.
Get out.
Because you're going to see the market is going to see like, okay, he's probably going to hit this. The Chiefs have a nice little lead, so you're going to be able to liquefy right then and there. And I think that's where the money is, and that's the play. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win at all. I don't think they're going to be in a spot to be looking like they're going to cover 7 or 6.5. So I'm going to lean on the. I'm going to stick away from that one.
Hey, bring that up real quick again because I just want to see the Eagles rep because I know there's one out there. Or there's not. It's A.J. Brown. Sorry, he's right there. He's my cover boy. I made the damn thing. So he's got a $1.68, but the Eagles not only have to win, but they got to win by 6.5. So that's the golden number here at Mojo is 6.5. Eagles win by 6.5. You get $1 for every catch that A.J. Brown gets. So it's like, okay, great. How many catches does an A.J. Brown get? 7? 6?
I prefer the A.J. Brown one because
because you think the Eagles are going to win.
Or there's better value nonetheless. I'm not sure how they're factoring this in, and I'm sure that they are, and it's just I'm missing it. But if Kelce is getting 2.5 as a team in the real point spread, right? Forget about the prop here.
Right.
We're talking about they're getting 2.5. You're losing tremendous value by giving 6.5, right? That's a 9.5 point swing or 9-point swing. Whereas you're only really losing 3 points with the A.J. Brown one. If they don't factor that in, which I'm sure they do in the payouts and how the money moves, that's what I really have to see. Full disclosure, I'm kind of learning this on the fly with everybody. I know Dave is a little more versed in the parlays, but I'm going to play one on the Super Bowl because I haven't gotten to play one of these yet. And I need to see how it works. I am missing out. Full disclosure, I was in Atlanta last week during all this, so I wasn't able to be there. So
missing out on that. You're missing out on NBA. Just so everybody's aware, let's see. What's today's date? The 9th. Oh, so these are yesterday's. But just to give you an example, points, Joel Embiid yesterday was 28, right? And then Jason Tatum was 12. Points and rebounds by Harris was 8. Jaylen Brown was 6 points and rebounds. So that's interesting. I think the NBA liquid props are going to be very exciting stuff because that stuff's going to move, man. I'm telling you right now, that is going to move. So a lot of stuff to get into, obviously, as the NBA approaches Mojo's market. And, of course, the Super Bowl going down Sunday. We'll preview the game as a whole in totality tomorrow. We'll pick the game officially, even though Chris has kind of leaned one way the entire week. I kind of leaned one way a couple times, but I might be able to be swayed. We'll see. So do us a favor right now. Follow us on social media. You can do that by heading on over to Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. That's at Mojo, M-O-J-O. Very easy to find us. And, of course, on the Discord, at Mojo. Check us out over there. Daily conversation. You will find out more information about all these liquid bets. So if you're confused or I just spoke in a native different language today and you're like, what in the hell did he just talk about? Head on over to the Discord. It's explained over there plenty. It's explained thoroughly on the app. So download the app right now. Do all that. Follow us on socials. Do us all a favor. Enjoy all this stuff. It's going to be fun. We're excited. The NBA trade deadline happens today. I don't know if there's any more stars to go around, to be honest with you, as far as trading or on the block is concerned. The Nets have traded away everything, so they got nothing left. So that's that.
There's some guys on the move, I would bet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, like, not stars, but like.
Maybe no KDs, no Kyries.
No.
But there's going to be some movement. It's the NBA.
We'll see.
Maybe another banger. Maybe AD. Imagine.
Oh, my God.
Would love it.
That's it. So for Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci and 85 Behind the Glass here at Chop Studios, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Please be sure to, again, do all this responsibly. Download the app right now. We'll see you guys tomorrow to preview Super Bowl 57.
Fly, Eagles, fly.